Cyberverse. We've been given little details here and there. There were some rumors here and there. There were some figures from a little book box set here and there. We weren't really sure. We had some fidget spinners that we assumed were maybe Cyberverse control art. Now we have finally a proper press release about the new Transformers series for 2018, Transformers Cyberverse. Comicbook.com posted the first images and everything of this new series, confirming visual styles, as well as a small blurb talking about what the story will be. What's interesting about this is it seems like, paralleling to what was the previous series with Robots in Disguise 2.0, Bumblebee is going to be the main character again. What's really interesting about it is there's not really a mention in this synopsis of Decepticons. We do know that this isn't a sequel. It's a brand new reboot, if you will, where and again, seeing these visuals now, it confirms more or less what we saw from the other products that were being revealed to us that we assumed were Cyberverse, that it is Cyberverse now. So we do know that there is going to be Decepticon characters, because we did see what a Megatron and a Soundwave is going to look like, which is a tank and some kind of van. But from this description, it sounds more like, I don't know, it sounds like just Bumblebee and his misadventures currently. I mean, maybe that just might be the beginning of the first season or something, or the first couple of episodes. But just to,
It's weird because it reminds me of a lot of, I guess, 90s cartoon shows where it's like all the episodes are them trying to find a magic MacGuffin, and then and then hopefully they'll actually get to the end of this MacGuffin in this series.
But that's always, I find that with Transformers, for the longest time, that's kind of always been a thing. With, I mean, especially when you look at the Japanese series, MacGuffins are always, it goes back to Dragon Ball. It goes back to Sailor Moon, get the silver Imperial crystals, or the Dragon Balls. I mean, even with Armada, it was the Minicons. With Energon, it was Energon. With Cybertron, it was the Cyber Planet Keys. With Animated, it was finding the Allspark shards.
Right.
With with the Prime series, it was finding the ancient weapons from the Primes at one point. When you go into even the movies, you're talking the Allspark Cube.
Every movie has a MacGuffin, usually.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. So a MacGuffin thing isn't really a weird thing to Transformers. What's more interesting to me is just that, again, just to reiterate what this press release said, is that that Bumblebee is on some kind of critical mission where lives are at stake. He damaged his memory, so in this case, now he doesn't have a damaged voice box. Now he's a damaged brain.
Well, that was one thing I wanted to point out. I pointed out before, was just, he has a mouth.
Oh yeah.
Like normally, I mean, if you don't count Robots in Disguise 2.0, he doesn't have a mouth. He does, like, it's always covered. It doesn't have flapping lips, nothing like that. And in this one, he does.
I think that not since Animated itself, which was very G1 in aesthetic, it's finally a true return back to that Bumblebee kind of look, for at least the head. It still looks like he's going to turn into some kind of muscle car, which he seems to not be able to live down.
It seems like that for sure.
It looks very similar to what he turned into in Robots in Disguise 2.0, but his head design is more or less what the original Bee was. It has the horns, it has a mouth, it has the crest, so it's kind of staying true to that at least. So he is going to talk. We do see Windblade, who's again is in this description said to be his best friend. So this does also kind of confirm that it's a new continuity, because Windblade was not his best friend in Robots in Disguise 2.0, or in the he wasn't really a major player or present in the Combiner Wars fiction. So this is a new idea. But so Windblade is in it. We see Optimus Prime, which again also once again confirms the visual styles of this show based on the other products that have been peppered throughout these news releases, again with that book there that had the PVC figures and stuff. So that being said, it it sounds like thus far it's a story of Bumblebee trying to find his memory, and I guess it's going to have flashbacks talking about his past, and that's where we're going to get Decepticons. Will be in those flashbacks, but I hope that this actually leads to something that has a little more of a wider cast. I mean, so far we're only like, every single press release we've ever gotten of new series is as far back of let's say American series is as far back as animated. We were always kind of at least shown a good amount of the primary cast. Usually absent was the Decepticons, but usually the Autobots we had a good idea. In this case, even when we went into Robots in Disguise 2.0, when we were slowly being shown everything, we at least knew about Sideswipe and his crazy Goku-esque kind of hair, or French fry hair, and we would learn more about the other characters like Strong Arm later on and stuff. So I hope that it's a bigger cast. I hope like at least 2 more Autobots.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a small cast that gets fleshed out, I'm totally cool with that. I always like smaller casts, but I mean, I don't want to be that guy. I'm so tired of Bumblebee.
And but they do say with their other friend / human sidekick, not plural. Other friends is plural, and human sidekick. So we're getting one human.
So again, if I had it my way, it would be no humans, and maybe like
probably the human is there to be like the audience surrogate, like, what is this? What is that? What are you talking about?
It always is. Always has been.
Does this happen on Cybertron a lot? Yes, it does.
It probably, we're going to see. I mean, we're reading too much into just a blurb and an image.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope that this does a lot more than what I think it's going to do. Mm-hmm. I really hope that it's a lot more like animated and a lot less like, let's say, Rescue Bots.
Right.
Because I read this and I go, oh man, like, I hope this isn't like a slice of life Rescue Bots. Bad guys are not really a big threat kind of thing, where Rescue Bots was kind of doing that. And when Robots in Disguise came out, they even said, like, Robots in Disguise 2.0, we're going to kind of be channeling a little bit of that Rescue Bots kind of flavor.
I don't know why. I kind of feel this is going in that same vein.
I that's what I worry about too.
Like, I think
the fact that the conscious choice to use Bumblebee as the front runner right away tells me that.
But also, I'm just, again, if I was reading too much into the first blurb, it's like critical mission where lives are at stake, and then they keep saying about save the Earth and their friends. But
I'm again, I look at the Titan Returns CG series that's going to be coming out, and the absence of Bumblebee from that, and who it's targeted at, that audience. And I mean that as much as people weren't a big fan of the Combiner Wars one that was done by Machinima, it did have a little more of a hard edge to it.
Yeah.
Limbs were getting cut off, people were getting killed. So despite the fact that the overall product of it wasn't that great, I liked the cast, and I liked that at least it had a little more of an edge to it,
right,
and there was consequences. Where this, I mean, I don't have a problem with Windblade. She's actually one of those characters that I actually enjoy from the comics and Robots in Disguise 2.0. I don't have a problem with Optimus Prime because he's boring for the sake of being boring, but you need to have an Optimus Prime-esque character.
Yeah.
If it has to be a Star Saber, if it has to be a Lio convoy, I don't mind that boring leader character. He's the Cyclops. He has to be there. It's not a character I enjoy, but at the same time, it's not a character that I don't want to be there either.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to be there. Bumblebee, I feel, it's been since 2007. It's been 10 years now. Time to put away the bee. Put the bee back in the hive. If they would have come at me with this, and it would have been Cliff Jumper, and Cliff Jumper's personality, a la Casey Kasem per Cliff Jumper. I would have been a lot more behind this. I really hope that Bumblebee isn't the main character, because again, Robots in Disguise 2.0, I already got too much Bumblebee from that.
Yeah, but yellow sells, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yellow
And again,
sells, man. We got to do more oversized Bumblebees.
this is totally a marketing maneuver. This is them going, we need to put a female character, we need to have the yellow selling toy, and we have to have Prime in the image just to let people know, yeah, we still have Transformer Optimus Prime in this. Don't worry, guys. Don't freak the hell out.
Which is funny because that, like, one of the first comments in this TFW 2005 is from G1. Well, at least the one I'm seeing is G1 Prowl says, "Isn't this going to be Prime RC all over again? Is it?"
Well, in the case of Prime RC, the reason why she was such a featured character, I mean, there's the whole.
And personally, I dug Prime RC. I like that they went in a completely different direction with RC compared to
the choices of characters and how they were handled and managed in Transformers Prime were 100% dictated by the budget that was used towards the show with its voice acting. Mm-hmm. All the characters that got the most feature were the characters that also were the cheapest on the budget in terms of voice acting. Right. That first season kind of got slaughtered because they brought The Rock on. They killed him off. Spoiler.
First episode.
First episode. They killed him off. And then they brought in Peter Cullen and Frank Welker and the writers from the movies, Orsi and Kurtzman, and the whole budget was already out of whack. So they were like, okay, Bumblebee's not going to speak, Soundwave's not going to speak. We're going to make Peter Cullen and Frank Welker's characters disappear or have as little lines as humanly possible, so we don't have to like worry about them on an episode-to-episode basis. And then the only characters that oh yeah, but that was much later. That was much later. So then what we're going to pretty much leave us with is we're going to have the voice actress of RC, whose name escapes me right now. Oh my God!
I don't have it.
I'm going to get my ass chewed out for this. The kids and Steve Blum, essentially everyone who pretty much works on lower tier animation or anime. Which again, I don't want to belittle it, but like usually in the pay scale of voice acting, video games and anime are on the low end.
Sumli Montano.
There you go.
Sumali. Excuse me.
So they all were the cheaper actors, so they usually got the bigger focus. It was a lot easier, and again, you could bring Bumblebee in because, well, he wasn't really voice acted. It was just. So it was a lot easier to have full episodes around those guys because they were the ones that were cheaper to have than, say, bringing in Peter Cullen. And Peter Cullen would just have one line or something, and that would be it. So, I mean, in this case, I just want to have a really good Transformer series. I was not superly impressed with Robots in Disguise. I think it was a too much of a Bumblebee series that then fell into its gimmick hard. Like the gimmick just came out of nowhere with the mini-cons and the combiners and everything, and just made the whole show wrapped around that in a way that was very slavish when it came to the Energon series. And a lot of people didn't like the Energon series because of a lot of its writing style and how it was written around its gimmicks, whether it be the super linking and the Energon gimmick and stuff like that. That's in a lot of ways a lot of the problems that I had with Robots in Disguise 2.0 were the same complaints that people have with Energon or Superlink. So it's kind of, and again, the toys, they're hit or miss. I like the character of Strong Arm. I didn't have a problem with the designs of Sideswipe and everything. I like the visuals, but I wasn't a big fan of the series as a whole. And so I really hope that this is something that I want to have that same aha moment like I did with Animated when I saw the first image of Animated. And I saw that first image of Animated and went, oh my God, this is going to look terrible. When I ate my words.
Yeah, exactly.
And it ended up being one of the greatest Transformers series. I really want that to happen. And again, I like Windblade. So, I mean, if she's handled pretty well, and maybe if they dial back the Bumblebee stuff, because I'm really tired of Bumblebee.
Part of me is saying, no, they are definitely doubling down on the Bumblebee, because look at how Transformers Cyberverse is written.
It's going to be
got all that yellow and black,
which again, it's like, man, didn't we just go through a Bumblebee series already? Like, did you not get your fix of a Bumblebee being the main character?
No, we gotta get our Cheetor in. We gotta get our Hot Shot in.
I'm telling you, if they would have called it Cheetor, but again,
Hot Shot.
You know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is, Wendell? We got a Bumblebee movie. That's what it is. It's the next Transformer iteration is going to be a Bumblebee movie, so they got to have a Bumblebee series, and we're going to have a sea of yellow all over again in our toy shelves.
That's what kind of because like the last Transformers movie, Bumblebee talks at the end, and I don't know if that's the guy they got solidified that's going to be doing Bumblebee talking in the new movie, because I hope he talks in the new movie, because that'd just be really annoying if you have to hear a bunch of period accurate songs for him to
again talk it's the movie supposedly is based in the 80s.
He's pantomiming all over again.
I think he's going to go back to that because it's in the 80s when his voice box is damaged. So.
Well, his voice box was damaged in a fight against Megatron. But Megatron,
which supposedly happened on Cybertron, assuming that the IDW comics mean anything anymore. Which, who knows? They might retcon all of that. I don't want to get into a movie rant.
Sorry.
Oh,
so
God.
Back to Cyberverse rant.
Yeah, please.
Cyberverse rant.
That's always that's the gray area that I never want to go unless we really want a long episode.
Is Robots in Disguise 2.0 done, or what's going on with that?
It's on its way out. It's almost done. But it's just as of this recording.
Yeah.
But it's just that whole series really was the Bumblebee show. Like Optimus Prime does come back, spoiler, and a lot of other characters, and it's in that Prime continuity, but it's just it still was the Bumblebee show.
Right.
And I felt that after this show, I felt that they would have already, they got it out of their system. They did their Bumblebee show where he was the main character. He got the biggest Transformers Robots in Disguise toy is a Bumblebee toy.
Yeah.
They made a massive Bumblebee toy instead of a massive Optimus Prime toy. And you know that when you're not focusing on Optimus Prime and you're focusing on Bumblebee instead, it shows. That's where the numbers are. And I'll be honest with you, all these years doing YouTube reviews, hey man, Bumblebee toys get traffic. They get attention. So I won't deny it, and clearly the toy sales are there too. But that being said, I guess the primary reason right now is probably because they got that Bumblebee movie coming, so they want to just make sure everything syncs up, which I don't blame them. That I don't blame them if they want all their products to match up where they go to see a movie and then they have the TV series and they have all the stuff to watch. That's
Makes
fine.
sense. Doing better than Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel doesn't sync up their stuff. People watch.
That's what I mean.
They're
doing better than Marvel. Is what I'm trying to say.
The supplemental material that people could follow up on, unfortunately, is absent. So I guess that's one thing that Hasbro's being smart here with Cyberverse. I'm really curious about the name, what it relates to. What is Cyberverse? Again, we've discussed in the past what Cyberverse once was to Transformers. I'm curious what the name implies here. Animated was animated. Prime was because it talked about the lineage of Transformers. Robots in Disguise was, just aping the name that's always been around. Cybertron was because it was about Cybertron's history. Energon was because it was about Energon. Armada was because of the Armada of Minicons. And even going into the Japanese names of things. So I'm really curious what Cyberverse means and what this title actually implies. The Cyberverse. Is it a continuity thing? Is it referring to the past of Bumblebee and we're going to have a lot of, I'm imagining Are You Afraid of the Dark? Midnight Society. Let me tell you a story.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy.
I'm gonna
my brain was kind of thinking that. I was like, nah, they wouldn't do that.
Bumblebee always. I'm gonna tell you another story from the war.
I kind of want to see how they're animated. If they're animated in a 2D or if this is cell shaded.
I'm worried that it might be this flash animation kind of thing, which again, it's hard to tell this early. It really is.
Like cell shaded 3D.
All that I could take a guess at is again based on other products, character casts. Hot Rod, yay, he's going to be in it. Hot Rod, Soundwave, Megatron, Optimus Prime. That's all we know thus far. Windblade now confirmed also here. Possibly more down the line, but if it's a Hot Rod series. I don't know if it'll be good. The funny thing is, I've always said Hot Rod kind of has a weak track record when it comes to series he's been in, because like the worst season of G1 is season 3 to a lot of people, and that's the Rodimus season. The worst of the 3 Japanese Transformer series of G1 is Headmasters. That's the Rodimus season. The worst of the Japanese Unicron trilogy stuff, a lot of people argue that Enertron's the worst. That's the Hot Rod season. So a lot of the series he's been...
Maybe it might be his second coming, because we got 3 toys related to him.
We got it. There hasn't...
No, I mean of the newer stuff, coming down the pipeline.
Hasbro always has had some kind of, or Takara at least has always had some kind of merch coming out periodically since 2006. 2006 was like when we got Classics Rodimus, and we haven't turned back since.
Yeah, he's always getting new iterations, even though the retooling isn't all there. You know what I mean?
No, he doesn't have. He's not a good repaint character. He's never.
But they still come out with stuff for him. You know,
yep.
Which is
either way.
Crazy.
Either way, I think we've been talking too long about this,
my
but
bad.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
It's a new show. We're excited and skeptical.
Yeah, well, I am excited. I am excited because I wasn't a big fan of the last one, so a new reboot take and a new continuity with at least one character that I enjoy. I'm really looking forward to it.